It's time now for Health Fitness Broadcast with Sherry, a show covering the hottest fitness topics and latest health issues. And now, here's your host, Sherry Horner.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Today's show is very special. I'd like to introduce our guest. She is Laticia Jackson, and she joins us from Sacramento, California. She is a fitness expert and an I.F.B.B professional, and she is also on our team at Health Fitness Broadcast as a blog writer covering the topic of figure and fitness competitions. So, Laticia, welcome to the show.
Hi, Sherry. How are you?
Great. It's so great to be talking with you about figure and fitness because there's so much that we don't know. And I was wondering if we could just kind of pick your brain and get the scoop on everything.
Absolutely. I don't know if we can cover everything, but we can cover a lot. There's a lot to learn.
That's good. We'll cover plenty. And what we don't cover in this interview, I'm sure you will cover in your blog, which will help so many people. I want to start off and ask you, Laticia, what is the difference between bodybuilding, figure, and fitness competitions?
That's a very good question, Sherry. For a lot of people out there, automatically when they see a woman with muscles, the first response is bodybuilding. And that's normal because bodybuilding has been around for a very long time. One of the main differences between bodybuilding, fitness, and figure is the physique of the competitor. The women bodybuilding, the women are a lot more muscular, a lot more lean, what we call striated. With the fitness competitors, because we are athletes, our bodies are very muscular, but yet we're not as muscular as the bodybuilder. The fitness realm, we have a two-piece swimsuit round, but we also perform a 2-minute mandatory dance/gymnastics routine. On the other side, you have figure and also bikini. Now, figure competitors, some of them are maybe as muscular as fitness, but they're really trying to find a standard to where the physiques are not as muscular as fitness. And with the figure competitors, they have a 2-piece swimsuit round, and they do what's called quarter turns. During the quarter turns, the judges are looking for symmetry, for development, stage presence, and overall package. So there are 3 different categories, and they definitely have different specificity training for each.
Do you think that one is more popular than the other in this day and age?
I have to say yes. Unfortunately, bodybuilding and fitness, they both are kind of dwindling. One of the things that happened with bodybuilding, the women were getting very muscular. And for many, and of course we are in a subjective field, for many, the appearance of overly muscular women was not appealing. Now, with the fitness, a lot of people have tried to go the fitness route, and because of its nature, a lot of women have harmed themselves. I myself have had 2 shoulder dislocations and a left elbow dislocation. So I would say right now, figure is definitely, there are more participants in the sport of figure than either bodybuilding or fitness.
But fitness is pretty hot. Now, you talked about that, the routine that you do, and how long is that routine?
It is a 2-minute routine, Sherry, but I tell
Wow.
you what, when you get on stage, the 2 minutes go by so fast.
Yeah, but to watch it, it's quite intense.
It is, just practicing is it intense.
Yeah. I mean, as I watched your video, it's like I could feel myself sweating and the pain that you must have gone through to get to that level.
I tell you what, some days when I'm getting ready for my routine, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love what I do. But some days I leave the gym and I think, why do I do this?
Well,
and
I'm glad that you do, because you're an inspiration. And wow, not just on a local level, you were in the Olympia. And can you tell us about the whole Olympia, because there's the bodybuilding contest, the figure, and in the fitness competition. Tell us what it was like at the Olympia.
Oh my gosh, I don't think there's enough words to explain how the Olympia was. I have to give you a little background. I turned pro in 2006, but did not compete as a pro until July 4th, 2008. At my pro debut, I placed 11th out of 27 women. For most people, they would say that's great, and, you know, it was an okay placement. But for me, I had my mind set on getting to the Fitness Olympia. Now, the Fitness Olympia is the highest level you will get in the sport of bodybuilding and fitness. Had a lot of people tell me there's no way in the world you'll make it to that level this quickly. 3 weeks later, I qualified at the Atlantic City Pro Show. I went from 11th place to 3rd place. Fast forward 2 weeks to September 25th, 2008, and I stood proudly on the Olympia stage, placing 8th my first year there. To have your name called and to be on stage with the best of the world, it is the most amazing feeling, and it confirmed that belief in God, belief in yourself, and hard work pays off. It was amazing.
I bet it was. All that training definitely paid off. Now, I mentioned in the beginning to our listeners that you are a I.F.B.B professional. So I also want to let people know that aren't familiar with that industry and what it stands for, International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness. So that's pretty awesome. Now,
thank you.
Now, exactly how did you qualify for the Olympia?
One of the ways that you can qualify the Olympia, actually the only way to qualify for the Olympia, is that you have to make the top 3 of any show. So a lot of times, usually fitness, we have about 5 shows per year. Out of those 5 shows before the Olympia, you have to place 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place. That is the only way to qualify for the Olympia.
Okay. I want to say you mentioned the show in Atlantic City that I'm sorry I didn't know you then. I would have been there to see you. Absolutely. So, sorry. Next time.
That's okay. You were there in spirit and didn't even realize it.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Because of my fascination with this whole industry. I'm fascinated with the whole thing. And the information that you're going to provide in your blog on Health Fitness Broadcast about fitness and figure competitions. It's going to be great because there's a lot of people out there that want to get involved, fitness enthusiasts everywhere, and they don't know where to turn. You know, I have questions about this and what it's like, what can I expect, and that's everything and more that your blog is going to be able to supply. So I want to thank you for that also. So training, and you said sometimes you leave the gym and you're like, oh, why am I doing this? Training, how much time does it take? How much of a commitment does it take to train for a competition?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. I will give you the typical rundown of a day when I'm competing. Usually I begin based on, well, I'll tell you this. I've at times I've been a full-time employee, a full-time student, and I have competed on the national and pro level. But it depends on your life. For me, I'm very dedicated. So I probably would say anywhere from 3 to 4 hours a day. I mean, you have your first session of cardio. Then I have to go back and do my resistance training. Then there are days, usually 4 days a week, I practice my routine. And then I also do my own nutrition. So it's literally, I usually train about 10 weeks out on a diet. So it's a lot of time. But one of the things that I have, what works for me is time management. And that's something I always encourage my clients to focus on. You write down the tasks that have to be accomplished for the day, and then you figure out how in your busy schedule are you going to get those things done. You make time work for you.
I like that. Make time work for you. So time management is key to anything that you want to succeed at, right? Once you get your eye on the ball, and then you have to have the plan and manage that plan to get where you're going. So what about someone just starting out, Laticia, a fitness enthusiast or fitness professional, and this is what they want to do? About how much time for a first-time competitor would it take for them to prepare and train for? How much in advance?
All of that is completely relevant to the individual. If someone does not have a background in fitness, and let's say maybe their goal is just to get on stage just as an incentive to lose weight, if they're starting off at a place where they have a lot of weight to lose, I would tell that person, be realistic, set an amazing goal to compete, but allow yourself enough time to get your body in condition. Now, if there's someone out there that has a background and maybe they work out 3-4 times a week, they're very familiar with resistance training, I would also say to them it depends on their current level of fitness. I would find an organization in which you want to compete with, go to the organization's website and actually look at the different photos of the ladies that are placing in the top 5. Once you viewed their bodies, I would take a very, what is the word? I don't want to say critical, but a very realistic look at your physique and figure out what are your weaknesses and what are your strengths. From there, then I would set a period of time to accomplish your goals. So it varies from individual to individual. Some may take 6 months, some might take a full year. It just depends.
Okay, what about some training tips for individuals aspiring to compete?
I think, once again, it goes back to taking photos of yourself
Okay.
and having someone else that has a trained eye to actually look at your photos. I would say one of the things that a lot of women competitors, even with myself, really have to focus on are our glutes and our hamstrings. As women, we naturally carry more body fat there, and when you're doing quarter turns and you're getting on stage, and I smile because it's like the thought that I always have, I hope my glutes and my hamstrings are tight.
So that's what's in your mind when you're making that turn, right?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's funny, because it is the backside of our bodies. We literally on a daily basis cannot see the current state of those areas. So once again, I mean, squats, lunges, hamstring curls, bridges, glute lifts. I mean, you have to have nicely developed glutes, nice hamstrings. It's a must.
Your physique really shows the hard work and dedication that you put into that. So I want to congratulate you on your success overall and success at being just totally gorgeous with
oh, thank you.
It shows off your hard work. So congratulations on that too. Now, let me ask you a question real quick about your beginning. We talked about your accomplishments, but when was it that you knew, okay, I want to compete? How did that come about?
I was actually stationed in San Antonio, Texas at Randolph Air Force Base. And I was going to the gym I was really getting started just going to the gym. Fell in love with lifting weights, but I met a gentleman that was a bodybuilder. And I remember he approached me one day and he asked me, "What do you do?" And I thought to myself, what do you mean? He asked if I was an athlete, and make a long story short, I told him no. And he asked, "Did you think about competing?" I'm like, "Compete in what?" So he introduced me to the sport of fitness. I did some research on NPC News Online, and I thought, you know what, I can do this. So he trained me for 6 months, and then on May 13th, 2000, I competed in my very first fitness show. I won the tall class and took home the overall fitness title. That was my very first time walking on stage. I knew right then and there that I found what I was created to do. So, yeah.
That's when the bug bit right there.
It bit me hard.
So he was able to help you with your nutrition, and I want to mention to our listeners that not only do you know a lot and practice what you preach, but you also have the education to back it up with a bachelor's degree in exercise science, and Laticia also has an associate's degree in human performance. She's a certified trainer with 10 years experience in the fitness industry, and she is also a lifestyle and weight management specialist. So, like I said, you practice what you preach, but you also know so much more to help other people. And that's going to be great for your blog because everyone can be able to soak up all the information that you provide for us. Also, Laticia has been in many magazines, featured in several magazines. A lot are very familiar and popular. The Ironman magazine, Muscle and Fitness for Her, Flex magazine, and Oxygen magazine. And she has been the editor for Joe magazine. So you've been out there a lot, and you're very well known, and I'm so happy to have you as a part of our team. So thank you so much,
Oh, well,
Laticia.
thank you for having me.
So many great things going on in this industry that, like I mentioned before, that we don't know the whole scoop, and that's what we're getting today from Laticia. So the blog, what are some things that we can expect from the blog?
I want to get very creative with the blog. One of the things that I have really learned as a competitor is about my self-worth. I have really learned about determination, consistency. I believe being a great competitor encompasses more than just getting your body in shape. It really entails getting your spiritual, I call it your spiritual fitness. So I will cover things about spiritual fitness. It's a definite that you have to have nutrition, so I will cover nutritional tips. I will provide different exercises, as I mentioned earlier, about women and their glutes and their hamstrings. It's going to be very diverse. I want to give the reader a lot of information so when they step on the stage, not only is their body beautiful, but their self-confidence. One thing about being in this sport is that it's very subjective, and a lot of women walk away and their self-esteem in many situations has been determined based on the trophy. You're not defined by a trophy. That's the best way I can say it. So the article is just going to be about a bunch of everything that pertains to the sport, inside and out.
Sounds great. I want to talk about your book in just a moment, but first I want to mention your website. There's a quote on your website, which I really love, and it kind of backs up what you were just saying. It says, it's beauty that captures your attention, personality which captures your heart. I like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. We live in a world now, especially for women, and this is something I cover in my book. I entitle it The Subliminal Message. But everywhere we look, we're bombarded with messages of perfection. If you have a certain bra size, or you have full lips, long hair, full breast, we're only defined by what's on the outside. But the reality is the true beauty of a woman is her heart and how she draws people to her. Beauty fades. The Bible says that beauty fades, but, the spirit of a woman is what, her love for God is what makes her worthy of being praised. Beauty alone will not take you in this world where you need to go.
I like that. Very good, very good. We'll remember that one. Now, you live in Sacramento, California, but you were born and raised in Pensacola, Florida, right?
Yes, yes.
So, and you were the baby of the family. What was that like growing up?
Being a baby has been the most amazing experience. My older sister always tells me that I use the title of the baby at my earliest convenience. I have two amazing older sisters who are both amazing women in their own right. I have a mother that has she's just shown me so much love. The woman that I am today has a lot to do with the love that she gave me as a child. I have a father who works very hard. His work ethics has followed me throughout life and has really helped me become who I am. So being the baby's been amazing. Only thing I have to do is call them up, and I may, pout a little bit, and, whatever I need, it's there. They're awesome.
I like that. We should all try that, pout a little bit, and what I need is there. Well, I'm the baby of the family, too, but that's never worked for me. So, but you were, I should try it again and say, well, Laticia told me to do that.
Yeah, right? I got your back, Sherry.
You were a cheerleader, right, in college?
That is correct.
So you've always been physically active.
Well, the funny thing about the cheerleading, I had never cheered before. And a friend of mine told me they knew that I had the ability because I was very flexible. And they told me about that there were cheerleading tryouts, and if you made it, you got a full-pay scholarship. And I was like, really? So I started to go to a few of the camps, learn the moves, learn the cheers. I'm naturally energetic, so it was just right up my alley. I tried out and made the team and never cheered before.
Wow, baby got a scholarship.
Yes, baby got a scholarship. You got it.
Oh, that's cool. So I want to ask you now about your book.
Yes.
The title of your book is?
The title of my book is I'm Not a Size Zero, Defining Your Curves While Loving Yourself. And the concept behind the book is teaching women that whether if you're a size 4 or if you're a size 16, being fit is empowering. And I always put in my book that the size game is over. It doesn't matter what size you are. As long as you are healthy and you're loving yourself and you're valuing your body, that should make you feel amazing. And I teach the woman how to identify her body type. I teach her how to eat for her body type, and I teach her exercises to train her body. But more importantly than that, I teach her how to love herself, and I provide her tools. One of the areas in the book is called 10 Days of Inner Discovery, and this will take her through 10 days, and I ask her to reflect back on her childhood. You know, what were the memories that actually formed her as a woman? A lot of times women are overweight, and it's not a result of eating too much. Maybe she was molested, maybe she was told she was ugly. There's usually a reason behind a woman's body. Mm-hmm. So I teach a woman how to love herself from the inside out, and being fit first starts with accepting yourself.
I can't wait to read your book. So it's due out in the spring of 2011, and
yes.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to read it. So let me ask you this, Laticia. I know you're a Christian woman. How did your faith play a role in your career and both your fitness career and the military and cheerleading, everything that you've been through up to this point? How did your faith play a role in that?
Wow, that's a huge question. I would have to say, and I tell people every day, and I say it with sincerity, I am nothing without God. And a lot of times when people hear what I've accomplished and have seen what I've accomplished, I am quick to tell them it's only by the grace of God that I'm even here on this earth. My faith is literally the anchor to everything that I do. For I realize that I was created for a purpose, and that purpose is to serve God and to serve people. So the things that I have accomplished is not a result of my greatness, but it's a result of His grace and hard work. I've been through a lot of situations, and He's my best friend. He's there when I don't understand what's going on. He's there when nobody else is there for me. He's a friend, but most of all, He's my Lord, and He takes good care of me. So to answer that question, to sum it up, I'm nothing without Him, and everything that I have is because of Him.
He's always there for you, even
That's
at
right.
4 a.m. when you're on that treadmill.
You know what is really funny about that, Sherry? Some people don't believe, but there's times when I have been so exhausted, and I'll pray and I'll say, Lord, please wake me up at 4:30. And I kid you not, Sherry, literally at 4:30, it's like I jump out of bed. I have never slept with an alarm clock.
Wow, that's great.
Till this day, I do not use an alarm clock. I ask the Lord, please wake me up at this time, and my body naturally just wakes up. You know, and I wake up and I say, okay, God, here we go again. You know, give me your strength to make it through this day, because it's tough. You know, life can be very tough.
Here we go again. I like that. Now, you said before, and you pretty much just said it again, that you pray before you work out.
Absolutely. I do. I pray before I work out, because this is my realization. My body does not belong to me. God created my body. Therefore, I give Him the responsibility to watch over it. So I do. I pray and ask God to protect my body, and even more so, I pray and ask Him to allow me to stay focused. During this time of the year, there's so many people at the gym, and you get distracted. There's a lot going on, and when you're in the gym can be a dangerous place. You know, you have to be aware of your body at all times. So I asked Him to protect me, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And now, when you told me that before, my thought was, that's great that you pray before you work out, because a lot of people pray in the middle of their workout and they're saying, Lord, please help me get through this. I can't take it anymore. Help me.
Absolutely.
You're such an inspiration to so many people, and you mentioned how your faith plays a role in what you do. But you also had some unpleasant experiences with firsthand experience with domestic violence. Can you tell us about that, and how speaking out and being honest about your situation has helped others and will help others?
Absolutely. Yes, I was in a very abusive marriage. It was both physically and mentally abusive. September 2007, my ex-husband did try to take my life with his hands. And for a long time, I was embarrassed. For a long time, I was ashamed, because I was always thinking about, well, how is it that I'm this smart, educated, very accomplished woman. How could I allow myself to get into a situation such as this? But as God healed my heart, and as I realized that we don't give people permission to mistreat us. No one goes into a marriage, says, and gives the spouse the permission to beat on them. But because other people are sick in their minds and they have other issues, things happen. So I had to start allowing God to heal my heart. And then as He allowed me to see that it was not my fault, and that by me not telling people what I went through, I could be putting someone else in danger. But by me speaking up and saying, you know what, you don't have to be mistreated. You don't have to allow someone to put their hands on you. I, in a sense, know that what happened to me was not in vain. And that's one of the things that I am using my book for, because women see the outside of me and they think, I always hear, well, if I had a body like yours, I'd be happy. But what they did not understand was I was very insecure. I felt very rejected. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. And until God showed me His love, I was looking for it, and I found it in an abusive man. So my story is a story of redemption. My story is a story of self-love. And now I'm able to talk to women. I've met a lot of women who approach me, and it's usually about my body. And when God allows me to speak to them and I tell them I was abused, they look at me and say, not you. And I say, yes, me. But you don't look like the type. Domestic violence does not have a type. It does not discriminate. So I went through it. I healed from it. And I want to be the voice of it. And it goes back to show women that just because you're beautiful, just because you have a perfect body, does not exempt you from life struggles.
Mm-hmm. Your health improved, your fitness helped you through that time too?
Absolutely. The gym has always been a sanctuary for me. And there's something so empowering about knowing that I have the ability to go in the gym and I know how to change my body. And what I did after I left my ex-husband, I began to compete again. And I took my attention off of the negativity. I dealt with it. I wasn't ignoring what happened, but I chose to put that negative energy into my workouts. So during those days when I was angry, I had intense workouts. And the workout helped me to live out the anger, but in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
It's I always tell women working out is not just about getting a nice body. It's about taking control of your life, about saying, you know what, I'm valuable. I am worth the 2 hours that it takes for me every day to go to the gym. I'm worth eating healthy. I'm worth feeding my body food that's going to give me energy. You're worth it, and you have to believe that within yourself. And it's not about, this whole journey of fitness is not about anybody else but you. Once you take care of you, everyone else around you will reap the benefits.
I like that too. You have a lot of great quotes. I hope a lot of these are going to be in your blog, because these are some things that can stick with us and keep us focused and motivated. So Laticia Jackson, you have also earned the nickname Action Jackson. Where did that come from? And now I can see, because when you're in action on stage, I can see where that name comes from. But where did it originally come from? How'd you get that name?
I actually was given that name as a troop in the United States Air Force basic training. I was an element leader, so I was responsible for marching troops to and from whatever place we had to go. And I was one of the best marchers, and the TIs, which are training instructors, they used to say, Action Jackson is here again. And everyone just started to call me Action Jackson. And I love that name, because when I think about it, it makes me want to work even harder. You know, when you think of the word action, it brings you just, oh gosh, it's powerful.
Yes, and that you are. Before we go, I want to ask if you have one last tip you can give our listeners to either help them get on that road to healthier living with exercise, or one tip for an aspiring competitor in the fitness world.
I just will keep it general for anyone out there, whether you want to be a fitness competitor, a figure competitor, just someone that wants to get in shape. It first starts with realizing that you can do anything you put your mind to. Tomorrow's not the day. The next day's not the day. Today is the day to get started. Take small steps and set challenging yet realistic plan of actions. And you know what? If you fall off the wagon, dust yourself off, get back on, and move forward.
All right, great tip. Laticia Jackson, thank you so much for this time today, and thank you so much for the blog on Health Fitness Broadcast and being a part of our team. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sherry. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye.
As we say goodbye, I'd like to remind you to take some time to relax, to reflect back on the success of your day. Enjoy that good, positive feeling of knowing you're doing everything you can to take care of your health.